What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, I gotta say thank God for another day and another opportunity. And as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I put together a very special build for y'all. Now, I'm gonna be calling this one the two-way all-around threat, but it's going to come out to a very unique build called the two-way inside-out point forward. Now, for this build, out of all NBA players, it's going to be reminding me of Grizzly star DESMOND BANE. And when it comes to the attributes, we'll reach a 99 plus when it comes towards our driving layup, three-point shot, ball handle, pass accuracy, perimeter defense, steal, and stamina. And with this build, we'll get some of the upgraded layup packages as well as pro dribble animations. I think it's an elite and main point guard for any team, especially when it comes to the passing and handles. Now, as far as for this build being a threat, it's definitely one on the outside, and especially when it comes down to layups and floaters. For this build on the perimeter, I think it's very overpowering, and it's a great rec build. Pro-Am, any 5s lineup is going to be useful for this kind of build, and overall it's a very nice build name, being one of the most unique that you can possibly make. So look, before we get any further, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. Now, the first thing that you want to do to get started with today's build is put it under the small forward position. Getting into the height, I decided to put this to 6'5". Leave the weight and wingspan exactly at 213 and 6'10", and from here, we are all set to move forward with today's build. So I'm going to start from the top down. As for when it comes to this close shot, let's go ahead and put this all the way up to a 68. Now, you're definitely going to want to be sure, because this build is very specific when it comes to every single attribute. Now, as far as for the driving layup, let's go ahead and put this to a 91. Getting into the rest of the finishing, this is actually what we're going to be leaving it at today, and I promise you, this is going to be more than enough. Now, let's max the rest of the build out. As for when it comes to the mid-range shot, let's go ahead and put this all the way up to a 73. Getting into the three-point shot, I think this is going to be best at an 87. And then when it comes to the free throw, I like this best at an 80, and especially for the batch free points on the silver tier. Now, getting into the playmaking, this is another very special area of today's build. Go ahead and put that pass accuracy all the way up to a 90. Getting into the ball handle, let's go with a 93. And then as for the actual speed of the ball, leave this at a 75. Now, here's what we're going to be looking like so far, just for the offensive end alone. Not only are you going to be able to shoot threes from deep, but you are a huge threat when it comes to the Euros. Any type of layup or floater, you can definitely count on this build. But the playmaking, being able to unlock every single dribble animation with that high ball handle rating, really is going to set this build apart from most playmakers. Now, let's wrap everything up with the defense and the physicals. So when it comes to the perimeter, I think that I like this best at an 87. Getting into the steal, let's go with a 91. And then to wrap everything up for this side of the floor, let's go with a 60 defensive rebound. Now, this is what the numbers are going to stay at, but really take into consideration activating your takeover, bind boost, as well as wearing gear, and the minor boosts that we get from playing well throughout each game. A lot to look forward to when it comes to this build. Now, let's wrap this one up with the physicals. So as for that speed, I decided to go with an 80. Move the acceleration up to a 78. As for the strength, I like this best at a 45. And then for that vertical, you can go ahead and leave this as is. Put that stamina all the way up to a 96. And this is what we're going to be looking like today when it comes to maxing this build out. Now, let's go ahead and start with the badges. So as you can see, when it comes to the defensive rebound, I made it to where we get at least rebound chaser on the bronze tier. For that steal, I'm really happy with gold glove, interceptor, and a right stick ripper. Then for the perimeter defense, I like bronze clamps. You'll also be able to get silver, 94 feet with ankle braces, fast feet and pick dodger. Then we get gold challenger, workhorse with also off-ball pest. Now that's what we're going to be looking like for this end of the floor, but I'm really happy with what we came out to, especially when it comes for badges. As for the playmaking, I like silver blow-by, you get hyperdrive, triple strike, and then bronze, speed booster. As for the ball handle, as you can see we get gold handles for days. I also do like killer combos. Then we get unpluckable. Hall of Fame ankle breaker is definitely special in my opinion. And then for the pass accuracy, the one badge I'm really happy about today, getting bronze bailout, and I think that makes a huge difference on any type of build, especially if you're looking to be a playmaker. Then from there we get the other badges like Dimer. You also will see Needle Threader and Relay Passer. Overall, I think this build, when you add everything up and take everything into account for the badges, you're really one of the best all-around builds that you can take into any game mode. Now getting into the shooting, as you can see for the mid-range shot, we get silver blinders, Deadeye with gold catch and shoot. We'll also be able to get green machine. Then we get guard up, space creator, comeback kid, mini magician, open looks, and whistle. But for the three-pointer, look, we get gold corner specialist, claymore, guard up with catch and shoot, and then we'll also be able to get silver agent 3 with bronze limitless range. And this is going to make a huge difference towards any build that can actually acquire this badge. Now to wrap everything up from the top down, as you can see, my favorite badges today for the finishing are going to be Hall of Fame Giant Slayer. You'll also be able to get Slithery on the gold tier, Acrobat with Bunny. Then we get Float Game, Pro Touch Scooper, a lot of special badges and things that come from this build, not only when it comes to the name, but what you can actually do with it. Now for the close shot, a little bit more of the same when it comes to this build. I really want to say, for those of you who made it this far into the video, God bless y'all. Let me know your true thoughts and opinion on this build down below. Is there anything that you would possibly do to make it a little bit better, change, or even possibly unlock certain badges and animations? Now from here, we're all set to move forward with the rest of the build. Now to make sure that everybody made it correctly, we should be able to get these 3 different comparisons, and as y'all can see, together we have created the first and best two-way all-around threat coming out to the unique two-way inside-out point forward build on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. Like I said, thank y'all for the support. More so than anything, thank the man above for another day and another opportunity. Consider adding everything up when it comes to your takeovers, boost, to see the true potential of what today's build can do. Now look, before we get out of here, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for Thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.